What's up everybody, welcome to my channel. Alright, let's start. Today's video is made for those who want to get the things right from the start. So everyone's saying that time is money, but what do they actually mean by that? For me personally, this video is very important, and it's something that will probably open the eyes for many other people, because I truly believe that if you want to build a billionaire mindset, then you need to get down into details, the phrase time is money, and understand exactly how you can apply it in your everyday life. I'm not going to focus on various general things about what you should be doing or you shouldn't for building your wealth or becoming a millionaire one day. I will specifically focus on time and its importance towards building your financial freedom. I will look at things that might save you a lot of time, maybe not money, but in the end they say time is money. So long term it will always save money for you, if that makes any sense at all, but it should. So I took my time to understand what this exactly means for me, how I've been applying it throughout my past years, and I've written down 10 rules that I personally think that will help you, and they actually help me towards building this billionaire mindset and saving a lot of time that will eventually lead you towards earning more money, or at least give you more freedom towards doing what you actually love. And with that said, let's kick on with rule number 1. That is, stop doing tasks requiring a lot of time and have very little return. Know that this might be a bit more controversial and it could be harder to achieve when you're just starting building your financial freedom. For me personally, this was the rule number 1 that I was looking forward after I've graduated my university. Examples for that would be cooking, cleaning, going to groceries from different markets in different places around your city that requires a lot of time of transportation. Yeah, I know that you will say that cooking at home it's gonna be always much cheaper than eating out or ordering already made food. However, for me personally, it requires a lot of time to get this cooking done. In the end, you will be left with much more time to spend on something that actually matters to you, something more creative and that will bring much more value in the long run. That has helped me to free up my time on basic needs and have more time to focus on something that I'm loving. And by taking all this hassle aside for cooking and the time spent on finding groceries, in quarantine, for example, I was able to build 2 new businesses, and for the other ones, I was able to take them to the next level, more strategic and have more creative ways to generate money. The same applies to any activity that is very field specific, even repairing your laptop and taking the viruses away. I believe that there are professionals who know better how to do it, and it's gonna be cheaper in the end if you just take someone to finalize it for you while you're focusing your time on more important things for yourself. And with that said, we will move on to the second rule, and that is stop wasting time on things that don't add any value. And this one is a pretty straightforward one, is basically stop doing anything that you will not see any returns at the end, like watching TV for no reason or consuming alcohol or any kind of drugs. Of course, that is very unhealthy, and everything that is health related as well. Although this might bring you some short-term pleasure, this will not add any kind of value in the long run, so just stop doing them now and let's move on to the third rule. And the third rule is something very interesting. This one is not related to money whatsoever, and I wanted to call it specifically that way because I think this phrase means a lot to me, and I think this will have a deeper impact to you as well. And the third rule for me says the following: better be alone than lonely with someone. Think about it. Let me know in the comments below, as I'm really interested to hear your first reaction. For me, this phrase means surrounding yourself with people that truly mean something to you. Get me wrong whatsoever, it's not about ignoring other people. It is more about building your circle, your friend circle, with people that actually support you, are truly kind and generous and understand your life values, share similar productive interests, and have vast experience doing various things, because it's interesting to speak to people who are in different fields and share the experiences with them as well. I wanted to type bringing people that are successful, but I don't completely agree with myself here as well, because I think it's more important to bring people that actually support you rather than just looking and analyzing someone by being successful or not. Personally, for me, it's more important to know and to be sure about the fact that people who are around me will support me when it's needed, and they can also challenge me when they think that I've done something wrong. Only when you have these surroundings, you will actually start growing as a personality, and you will develop some other skills and understand how you are perceived in the society. With that said, let's move on to rule number 4. A very important one that many of even my friends sometimes do mistake in it. And before that, I was doing the same. This is never save on life important products. Never ever. What I mean by this is everything that is very important in your life, for example, transportation, your car, and everything that is related to it, all kinds of accessories, insurances, and so on. Never save on home equipment or any kind of appliances, because if anything breaks, you will still spend more money in the long term repairing it. So by saying that, it doesn't mean that you need to buy the most expensive things and have the most expensive car. I just mean that you don't need to be cheap with life important products that will last for a very long time, so don't save on those things. It has never worked well for me if I wanted to save on something like even a laptop. If you save on that and it breaks, it's gonna be still more expensive to repair it than buying a new one straight away and having no hassles afterwards. Number 5 is going to be very specific, but it's very related to time and saving time, and this is live somewhere close to where you spend the most time during a day. If you work, for example, in central London, it is still worth more to live in central London, or at least zone 2, as eventually you will save more time and more money by doing that. Let me clarify it, because I am sure there are many questions about it. If we take London as an example, then we have some zones where it's more expensive to rent and some where it's much cheaper, yet the cheaper ones will be very far away and will basically take you at least 1 or 2 hours to get to central London in the case that you work there. If you work in central London, then it means that you spend most of your time in central London, and that's why you need to be living there. It might be more expensive to rent out there, however, it will save not only time to get there, but it might also send you more money, because if you're gonna be living in central London or somewhere very close to your work, then you will be spending less on transportation. You might be walking towards your job, or you might be taking a bicycle, or even the first zone prices for the tube or the buses are way cheaper than going from somewhere else or outside the town. So indeed, this one is a bit trickier. There are many people who live outside of London and they still save a bit of money comparing to living in central London, but let's not forget that they don't save one very important thing, and that is time. My 6th rule is always pay your bills on time or anything that is outstanding. And this one is also a pretty straightforward rule, because it's something that will minimize your costs in the long term, helps building a better credit score over time, and you are likely to get a better mortgage at a much more affordable rate in a few years. So to do this well and to have it always sorted, I really recommend you having standing orders, or basically having recurring payments with your bank. And then when the time comes, you know that the money has been sent out and you don't need to panic about paying any other outstanding debt. Alright, so let's get on to the 7th rule, and that is stay out of debt. Or say it other way, just don't borrow any kind of money. And I know this sounds very tough and very hard at the start when you begin, because you need some money and you need to survive or buy some other things that you have always been dreaming of. However, just don't. Always try to spend much less than what you're earning. For me personally, spending on anything that is not related to basic needs is usually not much higher than 20% of what I'm earning per month. You might set up a different rule for yourself. However, just stay out of borrowing any money because in long term, this will pay off for you. And also with time, compound interest from banks or private institutions will work against you, meaning that will be interest on interest being paid. So you'll always end up paying much more to whoever you borrow this money from. Now, the eighth rule is going to be related to health, and that is do not ever try to save on health, ever. So what do I mean by this is basically never save on gyms, never save on medicines, buy only qualitative stuff because it will always be beneficial to you in the long run. To that, I will add another thing, which is don't even save on gyms with better facilities such as sauna or any kind of other steam rooms. If the difference is very small, then just go for it because it will pay off with time for sure. Don't be greedy on your health. Remember that and use it always because it's very important, especially nowadays with having coronavirus everywhere. Rule number 9 is going to be a very important one and a major topic that I'm gonna be making another video about, and that is make money work for you. Even when you sleep, you need to be earning money. Never think that being paid by hour is enough, which basically means having only one active income stream. So always look into building more income streams and having more passive income. Only by doing that, you will be able to make more money through compound interest and while you sleep, because it's always gonna be adding up as passive income. If you want to check more about how to make more streams of income, I've already made a video about how I made 6 streams of income by the age of 25. So the link will be down in the description. So go check it out because I think it's going to be helpful and quite interesting for you to watch after this video. Final one. It's a rule that probably is not as important to the other ones, but it comes with time and it's very important to have it after you've done some businesses or you have already built something that is working pretty well. And that is learn to delegate. Delegating will save you a lot of time by having other people doing things that are probably repetitive to you or just take a lot of time and have no big value. This could be on personal matters such as, for example, having your house cleaned by someone else while you're working on a very important project. It could also be on the business side, which is probably more applicable after a couple of years building your brand or your business, where you have more people working on your brand, such as, for example, YouTubers have editors and they have filmmakers as well and video guys. So having more people working towards something that is more repetitive and takes more of your time while you can make something much more strategic is going to be very helpful. You can look at it as a opportunity cost, calculate it and understand where the cost is higher and where can you actually work towards building something much more important than doing things that won't make you grow. And with that said, I've mentioned the 10 things that are rules for me, and I personally think that they're very valuable towards building a mindset of a billionaire and understanding that time is money, understand how to use it correctly and how you can apply it in your everyday life. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like the video, comment below, subscribe, and contact me via Instagram. Until then, have a wonderful week ahead and see you next time.